across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Well, today was day 37, a 20-kilometre walk from Villafranca to Las Herrerias. Once again, we're in a beautiful accommodation, this time overlooking very picturesque dairy fields, a dairy farm, isn't it? We've got cattle just off the balcony, and once we finish this recording, we'll be heading down to dinner, and dinner will overlook the cows in the green fields.
Yes, it's very picturesque here because we're on the valley floor, and it reminds me a little bit of in Queensland of, Buderim and Mullaney, that sort of area. Very peaceful. You can hear the birds, and out the back, you see the cows just grazing.
Now, goals for today were to leave this morning earlier. Did we achieve that goal?
No, we went the
Failure.
other way. Failure, yes. We went the opposite way.
Did we leave better hydrated?
Better hydrated, still dehydrated now, but not as bad as yesterday.
Today wasn't as hard as yesterday.
No.
I think we did keep the fluids up a little bit better. I think we didn't stop early on multiple times. And one of the things that we did do today is we didn't actually bring our big jackets. We actually put them in the bag to go forward. And when we walked out the door for the first half an hour, that was probably a bad call. But then as the day, we're in a valley, weren't we? And as we worked our way out of the valley and as the sun started to hit us, then it was fine. First half an hour was cold, but it wasn't unbearably cold. Came across a guy today who, we remember those 2 days of descent?
Yes.
And we were coming down those steep mountains, and there was the loose rocks underneath. He'd rolled his ankle, and he'd battled on for a day or two, trying to walk a little bit, but only managing shorter distances. And he'd actually checked himself into an albergue for a couple of days, hoping to ride the injury out in a few days and be able to walk again. But he was in good spirits, but I felt a bit sorry for him because he was just desperate to talk for someone. He was the only one in the albergue. It's where we stopped for lunch, and fingers crossed his ankle gets better in a day or two and he can resume walking, because he's been walking from St. John, so he is, the same distance as we are through it. It would be a great shame for him not to be able to finish it off. And he was powering through it. We started 28th of Feb. He started, I think he said 7th of March.
Yes. So he is powering through it, and he said he would finish the rest of the distance in a week that he had to go. I did feel sorry for him, but he said the bruising had come down on his ankle, so he was hopeful.
We also managed to, we didn't pick up the dog. The dog managed to pick us up. It seemed to just walk with us for a good number of kilometres, and it wasn't like it was trailing behind us. The dog was leading us.
Yes, he was like a sheepdog, and he seemed to know where he was going. I thought he was with a group of people, but he was ahead of us, and every time we stopped, he actually came padding back on the trail to look at us, to tell us, keep going, and he led the way from one town to the next.
And he did this for a couple of towns. He seemed to stop at the service station.
Yes.
That was his end point. There was a supermarket, there was a service station, there was some cafes. He was picking up a bit of food there. Maybe he'd make his long journey home from there. But, he seemed to know the way, and we weren't encouraging him at all.
No.
He was leading the way. It did worry me occasionally he would decided to jump onto the freeway.
Yes.
Bit of a wander there, and then jump back over the bollards back to the other side. Speaking of freeways, how about those bridges? How high and these were superstructures.
They're huge. They're highways up in the mountains, which is, we're very low on the valley floor, and we look up, and these things, I don't know, I've never seen anything like it before. They look very far away. That's how high up they are.
And as we said, if it'd be great if Australia invested some big money into some big infrastructure projects rather than some of our current expenditure that we managed to spend. But without getting into that too much, we've now got a plan for our finish. We're going to finish on the 15th of April.
Yes.
We've now booked our accommodation all the way through to the end because we know that the final 100 and whatever kilometres from Sarria to Santiago is going to be busy. So now we've booked all of that in. And there is a bit of admin that you kind of do each day because you've got to make sure that your accommodation's booked. And, you know, we've been booking a couple of days ahead, and the closer we've got to Sarria, we've tried to extend that to a few more days. So now it's all the way through to Santiago. We've done that. And then we've also got to book our bag in. And, you know, just part of the admin that you do of contacting the company, where are you staying, where are you going, what town you're going to next, what accommodation you're going from, what accommodation you're going to. But €7 a trip, well worth the €7.
Definitely well worth the euro. Otherwise, we'd be carrying full packs. I imagine we would have had some more injuries early on if we were carrying full packs, and it wouldn't have made the walking as enjoyable as it has been.
Knowing what we know and walking at this time of year, if we were to go home and pack again, would you change much of your packing?
I would change a couple of things. I probably would change the types of long hiking pants that I have. I would make sure that I have 2 long sleeve shirts instead of 1. And I think with the big jacket, the big warm jacket, I might try find one that is as warm but more lightweight.
Yeah, that 100%. That's what I do with my jacket. Love the jacket that I've got, but it's heavy.
Yes.
I'd go for something that could squish down real small and much lighter weight. Shoes, I've got hiking trail shoes, and I've got a pair of sandals, hiking sandals. I would have ditched the hiking sandals and just packed a very thin pair of thongs.
Yes.
Or something even, I don't know if you can get anything thinner than thongs, but, you know, something that, or you can just slip onto your feet at the end of the day if you have to go somewhere. So maybe thongs. Yes. Good Aussie thongs. Double pluggers.
The double pluggers.
Not the single pluggers.
No, that's a good pickup. I would do that too, because the advice you get given is, oh no, you need a pair of sandals that you might be able to use on the trail as well as at the end of the day. Well, I think
we haven't done it once.
No, we have not.
So I have very fancy, high-priced, as do you, very fancy, high-priced sandals that are after-dinner sandals almost.
Yes.
Well, sorry, dinner sandals.
Dinner sandals.
We're rocking them with socks and sandals as well, so it's a good look as well. Other things in the pack, yeah, look, there's a few things that I have in there that we brought a head torch. No need. Could have got done without that, without the expenditure and without the small weight that it contributes. We probably could have streamlined things, and we've got lazy in the sense that knowing that we've got the bag that goes forward. And we've been sort of mixing it up by buying things at supermarkets and carrying it forward. Really, possibly could have just done cafes and bars and not really buy anything. But it is nice when you come across something that your favourite foods and that sort of stuff that you're able to have. What they do need, cafes and bars, what they need to do is just have cereal on demand.
Cereal on demand.
Breakfast, lunch and dinner. You know, go into a cafe. What will you have? Oh, a bowl of cereal, thanks. Go to there for dinner. What will you have? Oh, a bowl of cereal, thanks. And then I would be sorted. I think Chan would be sorted as well if they just had cereal for breakfast, morning tea, afternoon tea, lunch, dinner, if they had some yogurt as well. But I think we've done reasonably well with the packing. I think we've done reasonably well, but, you know, you'd learn some things and you go, yeah, I'd just tweak it ever so slightly this way if we were to do it again.
I'd also ditch the thermals. That's the other thing I would ditch. Having the layers has been far better than thermals. I haven't used the thermals that much. And my shoes, they've been really good.
Best thing you've packed?
Best thing I've packed, I think, has been the neck gaiter.
Okay.
That just cuts the wind, stops it going down your neck and into your jacket.
Yeah, I've used my neck gaiter a lot, around the neck, but also as a beanie. And early on, when it was quite cloudy and a little bit of rain and overcast, I could get away with it on the head as my hat for the day. But then once the weather turned really nice with the sun, I had to wear the floppy hat. I'm not happy with my hat selection at all.
Yes.
Best thing I have packed, I think my red tracksuit.
You went-
It has performed exceptionally well. It's been great. I'd have to say the red tracksuit. All right, so we've got our plan now to get us through to Santiago. We will be finishing on the 15th of April, all things going well. It's time to go down for dinner and enjoy this beautiful view of the restaurant over the dairy farm.
Yes, it is.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.